They won't come. No cavalry, no cheering crowd, no mentor with a golden key. No one's coming to save you because this is your mission, not theirs. You must do it yourself. This is the truth most people run from. Nobody owes you anything. The world doesn't bend for your potential. It only responds to results. People won't show up to help you build the life of your dreams, but they'll be first in line to take a piece once you've done the work. So here's your choice: wait or begin. Every second you wait for someone else to believe in you, you're delaying the power already inside you. You've been conditioned to think that someone will hand you the opportunity, the blueprint, the shortcut, but that's a lie. The only way out is through, and the only one who will walk that road is you. Let this sink in. If you don't do it, it won't get done. No one is coming to help you. As harsh as that may sound, it is one of the most important truths you will ever learn in life. It's not because people don't care or because the world is cruel. It's simply because your dream is not their responsibility. Your vision is not their priority. Everyone is busy carrying the weight of their own lives, their own problems, their own dreams. And when you finally understand this, not just intellectually, but emotionally, you unlock a different version of yourself, one that is no longer dependent on someone else's motivation or belief. We are raised in a society that subtly teaches us to wait. Wait for permission, wait for the right time, wait for support, wait for someone to hand us the opportunity. And for a while, we believe it. We sit in silence, hoping that someone will notice our potential and give us a platform. We tell ourselves that as soon as we have the right mentor, the perfect partner, the supportive circle, we'll begin. But days pass, then weeks, then years, and still no one comes. That's when the truth becomes impossible to ignore. No one is going to do it for you. You must become your own savior. The sooner you stop expecting others to push you, the sooner you'll begin moving. The longer you wait for the world to validate you, the longer you'll stay stuck. People might support you for a moment, maybe give you a little encouragement here and there, but consistent, reliable help, that's rare. And when it does come, it usually comes after you've already proven that you can do it yourself. This is the cold reality. Support often follows success, not the other way around. People don't believe in your potential. They believe in your results. And results require action. If you're sitting around waiting for people to cheer you on before you start, you'll be stuck in that seat forever. Most people don't even believe in their own dreams. How can they possibly believe in yours? You might feel like the world owes you something because of your struggles or sacrifices. But the world doesn't operate on fairness. It responds to effort, resilience, and persistence. The minute you realize that no one is obligated to help you is the same minute you take full ownership of your destiny. That's when the real work begins. That's when you stop blaming others. That's when you start showing up for yourself, regardless of who notices or who cares. Think about the most successful people you know or admire. At some point, every single one of them had to take a step no one else would take. They had to do it alone. They had to put in the hours behind closed doors with no applause, no recognition, no help. What separates them from everyone else is not talent. It's the willingness to move forward without a safety net. No one is coming to remind you of your goals. No one is going to force you out of bed. No one is going to chase your dream for you. If you want it, you have to claim it. If you're tired of the life you're living, it's on you to change it. The truth is uncomfortable because it forces you to take complete accountability. It eliminates excuses, but in that accountability lies power. If no one else is responsible, then no one else can stop you either. The day you stop waiting is the day you start growing. When you stop hoping for someone to hand you the answer, you start digging for it yourself. And in the digging, you find more than answers. You find strength. You find determination. You find the version of you that doesn't quit, that doesn't need cheering, that shows up because the mission matters more than the mood. You become the kind of person who doesn't just survive adversity, you rise through it. Everyone is busy trying to figure out their own journey, and even those who love you may not understand yours. That's why depending on others to move forward is a trap. It's like handing them the keys to your life and hoping they'll drive you to your dreams. But no one can want it for you more than you want it for yourself. No one can make you hungry for it. That hunger has to come from within, and it has to be strong enough to push you through rejection, loneliness, failure, and fear. When you stop looking outward and start looking inward, you start realizing just how capable you really are. You begin to see that everything you were hoping someone else would bring to your life, support, strength, discipline, belief, was inside you all along. You just had to stop waiting and start digging. Waiting keeps you stuck. It's one of the most deceptive traps because it feels harmless. It feels like patience. It feels like preparation. But most of the time, it's procrastination dressed up in fancy words. We tell ourselves we're waiting for the right time, the perfect moment, the ideal circumstances. But underneath that, what we're really doing is avoiding the discomfort of starting. We're avoiding failure, criticism, rejection, and the reality that we might not be as ready as we hope. The problem is that waiting becomes a habit. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. There's a false comfort in waiting. It gives the illusion of control, like you're being responsible or strategic. You tell yourself you're gathering resources, learning more, getting ready, but the truth is, no amount of preparation can substitute for action. Some lessons can only be learned through doing. Some clarity only comes through movement. You can study forever, plan forever, dream forever, but until you take a step, you're still in the same place. And what's even more dangerous is that the world doesn't wait with you. Time keeps moving, opportunities keep passing, life keeps unfolding, whether you act or not. When you wait, you often do so with the belief that something external will change to make things easier. You think maybe someone will finally come and offer help, or circumstances will align, or fear will disappear. But what if none of that happens? What if the only way things change is when you change? What if the fear never goes away and you have to move forward with it anyway? What if no one shows up and you still have to rise? The hard truth is that every second spent waiting is a second you're not building, learning, failing forward, or growing stronger. Momentum is created through motion, not intention. You can intend to succeed, to create, to transform, but without movement, that intention is powerless. Progress is not a reward for waiting patiently. It's the outcome of bold action in the face of uncertainty. People wait for clarity when clarity often comes after the leap. People wait for confidence when confidence is built through showing up, messing up, and trying again. You have to ask yourself why you're really waiting. Is it because you're being strategic, or is it because you're scared? Fear hides behind good excuses. I need more time, I need more money, I need more support. But if you're honest with yourself, those might just be shields to protect you from the possibility of failing. And if fear is the reason you're standing still, then fear is the one in control. You can't let fear sit in the driver's seat and expect to get anywhere worth going. Every time you delay action, you reinforce the idea that you're not ready, that you're not capable, that something is missing. But what if nothing is missing? What if you're more ready than you think? What if the very thing you think you lack will only reveal itself once you start moving? There are strengths you haven't discovered yet, talents you haven't developed, opportunities you haven't earned, all locked behind the doors that only action can open. Most people don't fail because they tried and lost. They fail because they never truly tried. They waited, and while they were waiting, someone else who was less talented but more courageous took the leap and figured it out along the way. Don't let waiting become your story. Don't let hesitation become your legacy. Life rewards the doers, not the dreamers who never act. The ones who build, who push, who stumble and get back up, those are the ones who win, not because they were better, but because they dared to begin. Think about all the things you've talked yourself out of, all the chances you didn't take, all the steps you delayed for a better moment. Now ask yourself, did that moment ever come? And if it didn't, what did waiting really give you? Peace or regret? You can't keep pressing pause on your potential. You can't keep postponing your greatness. Every time you delay, you give more power to fear and doubt. And the longer you sit still, the more you convince yourself that movement is dangerous, when in reality, stagnation is the real threat. There will never be a perfect moment. There will always be a reason to wait. But the people who break through are the ones who act anyway. Not because they're fearless, but because they're determined. They know that waiting is the enemy of growth. They know that motion, even imperfect, is better than paralysis. They know that the only way to reach a new level is to take the first uncomfortable step, even if their legs are shaking. Build in silence. That's where real transformation happens. When no one's watching, no one's clapping, and no one's asking how it's going. It's in the quiet, lonely hours that character is formed, skills are sharpened, and dreams begin to take shape. Most people want to be seen winning, but very few are willing to embrace the unseen grind it takes to get there. In a world addicted to validation, silence feels like failure, but it's not. It's a sacred space where you're not performing, you're becoming. You're not showcasing, you're preparing. And that preparation, that behind the scenes work, is what eventually separates you from everyone else. We live in an era where everything is shared. People broadcast their plans, their goals, their routines. But talking about the work is not the same as doing the work. The danger in announcing too much too soon is that it gives a false sense of accomplishment. When you tell the world your big plans, you get a dopamine hit from the praise, and suddenly the urgency to act fades. You feel rewarded before you've earned it. You feel accomplished before you've achieved anything. That's the trap. And it's why building in silence is not just wise, it's necessary. It protects your energy, your focus, and your commitment from the noise of public opinion. Silence is where momentum grows. It's where you get to fail in peace, try again without pressure, and make mistakes without judgment. It's where your intentions stay pure, not shaped by likes, shares, or comments. It's where your foundation becomes unshakable because it's not built on applause, but on effort. No one knows how many nights you stayed up studying, practicing, working. No one sees the doubt you had to push through, the tears you wiped away, the times you almost quit but didn't. And they don't need to, because when it's time, your results will speak so loudly that silence will no longer be an option. You have to be okay with being invisible for a while. You have to be okay with people not understanding what you're doing, why you're doing it, or why you've changed. Growth requires isolation. You don't evolve in the spotlight, you evolve in solitude. That's where you learn discipline. That's where you confront your weaknesses without distraction. That's where you develop the resilience that public success demands. Because once the spotlight hits, it doesn't make you better. It only exposes what's already there. And if you skipped the silent season, the cracks will show. The truth is the beginning of anything worthwhile is quiet. There's no audience, no applause, just you and your mission. And in that stillness, you build habits, you develop skills, you become relentless. You show up every day, not because someone is watching, but because you promised yourself you would. That's what makes the difference. Consistency born in silence is stronger than motivation born from attention. Attention fades, applause dies down, but discipline formed in the dark carries you through every season. Most people give up during the silent season because they mistake it for failure. They think, if no one sees me winning, maybe I'm not. But real winners know better. They understand that the process is the prize, that every rep, every draft, every early morning and late night is depositing value into their future. You're not behind just because you're not seen. You're building something bigger than noise. You're building legacy. And legacy doesn't need validation. It needs time, work, and faith. When you build in silence, you protect your vision from the premature scrutiny of the world. You give yourself the space to grow without comparison, without performance pressure. You move at your pace. You make decisions based on alignment, not attention. You allow your roots to go deep so that when the storm comes, and it always does, you don't get uprooted because you weren't just chasing a moment. You were creating a movement within yourself. That's the power of quiet work. That's the strength found in solitude. The people who last are the ones who stayed committed when it wasn't glamorous. The ones who kept going when no one cared. The ones who became obsessed with progress, not praise. They understood that silence isn't the absence of success, it's the birthplace of it. While others were posting, they were planning. While others were waiting for recognition, they were building something undeniable. And when the world finally noticed, it wasn't a surprise. It was the result of hours, days, months, sometimes years of private hustle. There is something sacred about keeping your journey to yourself, not out of secrecy, but out of respect for your craft, your dream, and your own growth. You owe yourself that space, that time, that focus. Let your silence offend them. Let your discipline confuse them. Let your results speak for you when you're ready. Because if you build it right, you won't need to announce it. They'll feel it when it arrives. Success is not found in short bursts of effort, but in the relentless repetition of small steps. The path to greatness is paved by consistency, not intensity. Most people start strong, motivated, passionate, and full of big ideas, but that energy fades when results don't come quickly. They want fast returns, immediate validation, instant success. But life doesn't reward you for how intensely you begin. It rewards you for how persistently you keep going when things become boring, difficult, or invisible. That's the part no one talks about. The grind isn't always exciting. Most of the time it's mundane, but it's in that monotony where transformation happens. Anyone can give effort for a day, a week, maybe even a month. But what about when the excitement wears off? What about when you don't feel like it? What about when no one is cheering you on, when no one is watching, when progress is so slow it's almost invisible? That's where most people stop. That's where they talk themselves out of greatness. But those who break through are the ones who show up anyway. They put in the reps. They stay committed to the process. They keep going, not because it's easy or fun, but because they understand that mastery is born from repetition, not motivation. You don't become great by accident. You become great by doing the same thing over and over again until your mind, your body, your soul starts to align with excellence. Success is not about intensity on occasion. It's about persistence every single day. That means doing the work when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when you're unsure. It means building habits that carry you forward when motivation fails, because it will. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, keeps showing up. And if you can become the kind of person who keeps showing up no matter what, you become unstoppable. There's a reason most people never reach their potential. They're addicted to the feeling of starting, not the discipline of continuing. Starting feels good. It's fresh. It's hopeful. It's filled with possibilities. But continuing, that's where the real challenge begins, because continuing means pushing through resistance. It means staying focused when distractions try to pull you off course. It means committing to the small, unsexy tasks that no one applauds, but that ultimately change your life. It's the early mornings, the quiet nights, the lonely grind, the countless hours where no one is clapping, but you keep moving anyway. If you only work when it's convenient, you'll never build anything that lasts. If you only show up when you feel like it, your results will always be inconsistent. The real difference between those who succeed and those who don't is often just the ability to keep going, to keep writing when no one's reading, to keep training when no one's watching, to keep building when no one believes. Repetition is the mother of skill, and consistency is the father of growth. When the two come together, nothing can stop you. Not failure, not doubt, not fear. Most of the world quits in the repetition stage. They see slow results and interpret that as failure. They assume if something isn't working quickly, it's not working at all. But growth doesn't follow your timeline. It shows up when it's ready. After you've proven that you're serious, after you've shown you're willing to put in the time, the energy, the discipline, sometimes the reward isn't immediate because you haven't earned it yet. You haven't become the person who's ready to receive it. That's why repetition matters. Every repetition shapes you. Every repetition sharpens you. Every repetition prepares you for the level you say you want. People you admire didn't get where they are by doing something once. They got there by doing it 1,000 times. And usually it wasn't glamorous. It was boring. It was frustrating. It was lonely. But they did it anyway. They embraced the process. They trusted the slow grind. They believed in the compound power of daily effort. You see their highlight reel. But what you don't see are the countless hours they spent practicing, failing, refining, and starting again. That's where greatness lives. Not in the spotlight, but in the shadows of quiet repetition. There's a quiet power in just continuing, in just showing up one more time, that next workout, that next post, that next idea, that next phone call. Each one may seem small, but over time, they build something massive. Most people underestimate what they can achieve in a year because they overestimate what they can do in a day. But if you show up consistently, if you give a little each day, it adds up in ways that will shock you. Progress is slow until it isn't. Growth is invisible until it explodes. You don't need massive leaps. You need consistent steps. And if you take them long enough, success becomes inevitable. Discipline is the backbone of every success story, the hidden force behind every breakthrough, and the invisible structure holding up everything you admire. It's not exciting, it's not glamorous, and it certainly doesn't feel good all the time, but it works. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. It's waking up early when you're exhausted. It's staying focused when distractions are begging for your attention. It's committing to your goals when comfort tries to seduce you back into mediocrity. Most people think success is about passion or talent, but passion fades and talent is overrated. Without discipline, even the most gifted individuals crumble under pressure because talent without control is wasted potential. The reason discipline matters so much is because it eliminates the need for constant motivation. Motivation is emotional. It comes in waves. One day you're fired up, and the next day you can't even get out of bed. If you rely on motivation, your journey will always be unstable, inconsistent, and dependent on how you feel. But discipline is different. Discipline shows up regardless of mood. It doesn't care how tired you are, how uninspired you feel, or how bad your day has been. Discipline follows through. It honors the promise you made to yourself long after the mood in which you made it has passed. That's why the disciplined win, because they're not chasing feelings, they're chasing results. A disciplined person builds routines that are stronger than excuses. They know that greatness isn't made in one big leap, but in thousands of small, deliberate choices. Skipping a workout, slacking off one day, procrastinating just a little. Those things may seem harmless in the moment, but discipline sees the bigger picture. It understands that what you do daily becomes who you are permanently. If you compromise a little today, it becomes easier to compromise more tomorrow. Before you know it, your standards have dropped and you're right back where you started. Discipline doesn't allow that. It demands consistency. It demands excellence. It demands personal accountability even when no one's watching. The people who achieve the impossible aren't superheroes. They're simply relentless. They don't wait for the right mood, the perfect conditions, or someone to push them. They push themselves. They train their minds to obey their vision, not their feelings. That means they wake up when the alarm goes off, not when they feel rested. They finish their work even when it's boring, not just when it's exciting. They keep their commitments, not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's difficult. That kind of discipline becomes a superpower because it creates an identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone trying to succeed and start seeing yourself as someone who always follows through. When you operate with discipline, you become dangerous, not to others, but to your own limitations. You begin to see through your own excuses. You recognize the lies your comfort zone tells you. You catch yourself in the act of self-sabotage and say, not today. That kind of mental strength doesn't come overnight, but it comes with practice. The more disciplined you become, the more you trust yourself. You no longer wonder if you'll make progress. You know you will, because you've built a system that doesn't rely on luck, inspiration, or anyone else. You've become your own force. You've learned to control the controllables, and in doing so, you unlock levels of potential you never knew existed. And yes, there will be moments when discipline feels like a burden. You'll have to say no to things others indulge in. You'll have to do hard things while others relax. You'll miss out on temporary pleasures, but only because you're making room for long-term fulfillment. That trade-off is one the undisciplined are never willing to make, and that's why they stay stuck. Discipline is the dividing line between regret and reward. Most people know what they need to do. They just don't do it consistently enough. That's the truth no one wants to hear, but it's the truth that can change your life. Discipline doesn't promise comfort, but it does guarantee growth. It doesn't offer quick wins, but it does build lasting success. It's not about being perfect, it's about being committed. Day after day, choice after choice, brick by brick. Discipline builds a foundation that no storm can. Pain has a purpose, but most people spend their lives running from it. They avoid discomfort, hide from their wounds, and pretend their struggles mean something is wrong with them. But the truth is, pain is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. Every setback, every heartbreak, every betrayal you've endured has the power to shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more powerful if you let it. Pain strips away illusions. It exposes what's real. It doesn't care about your excuses or your comfort. It forces you to grow, to evolve, to confront what you've been avoiding. Most people try to numb it with distractions, deny it with false positivity, or drown it with busyness. But if you sit with your pain, listen to it, and learn from it, you'll find that it's the very thing that leads you to your breakthrough. The process of becoming your best self is not smooth or painless. It's messy. It's uncomfortable. It demands that you go through fire. But the fire isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to refine you. Think of gold. It doesn't become pure by sitting still. It goes through intense heat. It gets melted down and reshaped. That's what pain does to you. It burns away the weak parts, the lies, the ego, the fear, and it leaves behind something rare and resilient. You don't become strong by avoiding the struggle. You become strong by embracing it. You become someone who can carry the weight of success because you've carried the weight of suffering and didn't let it break you. Too many people waste their pain. They complain about it, feel sorry for themselves, or use it as a reason to give up. But your pain is not there to punish you. It's there to prepare you. Life uses pain to wake you up, to sharpen your focus, to push you into action. You don't grow in comfort. You grow when your back is against the wall. You grow when you have no choice but to fight. Pain teaches you what you're made of. It reveals how badly you want it. It shows you whether your dreams are real or just words. Because when everything is easy, everyone's motivated. But when it hurts, when it costs you something, when it feels like you can't go on, that's when your true self is revealed. Pain also builds compassion. It connects you to others. When you've been through real suffering, you stop judging people so quickly. You see their wounds. You understand their silence. You recognize their struggle. And that makes you stronger, not weaker, because now you don't just have strength, you have empathy. You don't just push forward blindly, you lead others through the dark because you've been there yourself. Pain doesn't make you bitter unless you let it. It can make you better. It can give you depth, insight, and clarity that nothing else can. You just have to stop resisting it and start transforming it. The most successful, grounded, and impactful people you admire, every single one of them has a story of pain. They've failed, they've been rejected, they've been hurt, and yet They didn't stay broken. They rebuilt. They used that pain as fuel. Instead of asking, why me? They asked, what is this teaching me? That mindset shift is everything, because once you realize that pain is not happening to you, but for you, everything changes. You stop feeling like a victim and start taking control. You stop waiting to be rescued and start rising from within. Your scars become your strength. Your past becomes your power. Your pain becomes your purpose. This is why some people seem unshakable. It's not because they've had it easy. It's because they've been through hell and came out stronger. They've learned how to turn wounds into wisdom. They've faced the darkest nights and didn't lose their fire. They kept moving, kept believing, kept building. Pain shaped them. And it can shape you too if you stop avoiding it and start listening. If you stop numbing it and start understanding it. If you stop fighting it and start growing through it. Because once you do, pain loses its power over you. It no longer becomes something to fear, but something to respect. It becomes a reminder that you are alive, evolving, and capable of becoming more than you ever imagined. No one is coming to save you. That truth might hurt, but it's also the most liberating realization you'll ever have. The moment you stop waiting for someone to show up and fix your life, that's the moment you reclaim your power. The world has conditioned you to believe that help is on the way, that someone somewhere will recognize your potential, hand you an opportunity, validate your struggle, and walk you into a better future. But that day never comes, and it's not supposed to. Because life isn't about being rescued, it's about rising. It's about becoming the kind of person who can rescue themselves, who can dig deep when everything is falling apart and still choose to climb. People often sit in pain, in fear and stagnation, waiting for someone to notice them, waiting for a perfect moment, waiting for support, approval, or a sign. But while you're waiting, time is moving, life is moving, and eventually you realize that waiting is just another form of procrastination. You don't need more time. You need to take action. You don't need permission. You need to believe that you're enough. You don't need someone to choose you. You need to choose yourself. Because the cold truth is, nobody cares as much as you do about your dreams. Nobody understands your vision the way you do. Nobody owes you support, and nobody is obligated to save you. It's your life, your responsibility, your fight. Taking ownership is hard because it means you have no one left to blame. It's easier to point the finger, to say it's because of your parents, your circumstances, your past, or the people who didn't believe in you. But blaming is a trap. It robs you of your energy, your initiative, and your future. As long as you believe someone else is responsible for your condition, you're giving them control. But when you finally say, this is on me, everything changes. You stop making excuses and start making moves. You stop hoping and start building. That shift, internal, quiet, powerful, is the beginning of real growth. Being your own hero means you take full responsibility for your mindset, your choices, and your outcomes. You stop expecting easy roads and start preparing for long journeys. You stop praying for shortcuts and start embracing the grind. And that doesn't mean you'll always know what to do. It doesn't mean you won't make mistakes. But it means that even when you fall, you'll get back up on your own. You'll face the consequences, learn the lessons, and get stronger. That's what self-leadership looks like. Not perfection, but perseverance. Not having all the answers, but refusing to quit. You have to stop romanticizing the idea that someone is going to unlock your potential for you. People can inspire you, teach you, or open a door, but you have to walk through it. You have to do the work. You have to show up. No coach, no mentor, no partner, no friend can carry you the entire way. If you want to create something extraordinary, you have to be willing to suffer for it, sacrifice for it, and stand alone for it if necessary. That's the cost. That's the entry fee, and that's why not everyone makes it. Because some people would rather stay in the comfort of dependence than step into the discomfort of self-reliance. Every excuse you make chips away at your power. Every time you say, I can't because of this person or that situation, you reinforce the idea that your life is controlled by forces outside of you. But that's a lie. The truth is, the biggest barrier isn't out there. It's inside you. It's the belief that you're not strong enough, smart enough, or ready. And the only way to destroy that belief is to take action before you feel ready, to start before you have it all figured out, to bet on yourself when no one else will, because confidence isn't built by waiting, it's built by doing. Every small step forward is a vote for the future you want to create. The world doesn't reward potential, it rewards execution. You can have the best ideas, the biggest dreams, the deepest pain, but if you don't act, none of it matters. That's what being your own hero really means. It means doing the hard things no one else will do for you. It means making the sacrifices no one else understands. It means believing in a future you can't see yet, but still working for it every single day. And that mindset separates the average from the unstoppable. Because once you stop waiting for help, you become the help. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start being a creator of change. And from that place, there are no limits. Comfort is the enemy of progress, yet it's the very thing most people are chasing every single day. The warm bed in the morning, the easy route through life, the avoidance of confrontation, rejection, hard work. These things feel good in the moment, but they destroy your potential. Growth lives in discomfort. Evolution requires friction. If you're not willing to be uncomfortable, you're not willing to grow. That's why the people who achieve extraordinary things are the ones who run toward what most people run away from. They embrace discomfort because they understand it's not there to punish them. It's there to prepare them for something bigger. Every time you choose comfort, you're saying no to growth. Skipping the gym, avoiding difficult conversations, procrastinating on important goals. It's all comfort and it's all costing you something. The price of comfort is your future. You can either pay now with discomfort and discipline or pay later with regret and disappointment. That choice is made moment by moment, day by day. And the longer you choose ease, the more you condition yourself to fear challenge. You become soft. You become passive. You become someone who talks more than they act. And slowly, without realizing it, your potential starts to die in the silence of your comfort zone. Discomfort is the signal that you're stretching, that you're growing, that you're stepping beyond who you were yesterday. It's not a bad thing. It's feedback. The pain of pushing your limits is the process of transformation. Just like muscles grow by tearing and rebuilding stronger, your mind, your spirit, and your resilience grow by being challenged and forced to adapt. If you always seek comfort, you never give yourself the chance to become more. You stay stuck in the familiar, even if it's unfulfilling. You trade greatness for ease, depth for safety, legacy for laziness. There's a reason why most people never become who they could be. It's not because they lack talent. It's not because they're not smart enough or lucky enough. It's because they're not willing to suffer a little. They want the reward without the risk. They want the outcome without the effort. But life doesn't work that way. Every breakthrough is bought with a price. That price is discomfort. The more you avoid it, the more you delay your break. The more you embrace it, the faster you grow. You become stronger, tougher, and more capable than you ever imagined. Every time you choose discomfort on purpose, you train yourself to endure. You train your mind to be calm in chaos. You build grit. And grit is what keeps you moving when motivation dies. Anyone can show up when it's easy, but can you show up when it's inconvenient, when you're exhausted, when you're doubting yourself? That's what separates the ordinary from the exceptional. Discomfort is the gym of the mind. It's where character is built. It's where dreams are forged. It's where leaders are born. You either embrace it or stay soft. You either lean into it or watch your goals slip away. Most people are addicted to comfort and don't even realize it. They chase convenience. They avoid pain. They live inside a bubble of predictable routines, afraid to take risks or challenge themselves. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, uninspired, or lost. Comfort doesn't bring clarity. It brings complacency. You don't find your purpose lying on the couch. You don't discover your strength staying in bed. You don't unlock your future hiding from the grind. The life you want is on the other side of discomfort. The person you're meant to become is hidden behind the pain you've been avoiding. You have to get used to being uncomfortable on purpose. Waking up early when you don't want to. Having hard conversations when you'd rather stay quiet. Taking the risk when your fear says no. Showing up consistently when your body begs for rest. That's how champions are made. That's how confidence is built. That's how success is earned. And the more you do it, the more you realize that discomfort is temporary, but the growth it brings is permanent. The pain fades, but the pride remains. Every step outside your comfort zone becomes a step toward your future. And the further you go, the less you're afraid of what used to scare you. You outgrow your excuses. You outgrow your limitations. You become a different person, not because the world changed, but because you did. Your mindset is the foundation upon which everything in your life is built. It shapes how you see the world, how you respond to challenges, and ultimately what you achieve. But mindset is not fixed. It's not a label you're born with or a box you get stuck inside. It's a muscle that you can train, strengthen, and reshape. The people who succeed, who break barriers and create extraordinary lives are not just talented or lucky. They have mastered their mindset. They understand that how they think determines how far they go. And that means your thoughts aren't just idle chatter. They're powerful forces that can either lift you or limit you. Most people underestimate the power of their mind. They let negative thoughts run wild, accept limiting beliefs without question, and allow fear to dictate their actions. They believe things like, I'm not good enough, this is too hard, or I'll never be able to do it. Those thoughts sound harmless, but they're poison. They quietly shape your reality by keeping you stuck, playing small, and settling for less than you deserve. But the truth is, those beliefs are not facts. They're just stories you tell yourself, and you have the power to rewrite those stories. Changing your mindset isn't about ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It's about shifting your perspective to see opportunity where others see obstacles, growth where others see failure, and potential where others see limits. It's about becoming aware of your internal dialogue and choosing to replace self-doubt with self-belief. This takes practice, patience, and persistence. But it's the most important work you will ever do. Because once your mindset shifts, your actions follow. Your confidence grows, your resilience strengthens, your ability to overcome setbacks skyrockets. One of the key aspects of mastering your mindset is learning to embrace failure, not as a sign that you're not good enough, but as a necessary step on the path to success. Every failure is feedback. It's information that tells you what's not working and what needs to change. The most successful people don't avoid failure. They chase it because it means they're trying, pushing, and growing. They have a mindset that failure is temporary, not permanent. They bounce back faster because they know that the only real failure is giving up. Another important mindset shift is moving from a scarcity mentality to an abundance mentality. Scarcity mindset makes you feel like there's never enough time, money, talent, or opportunity. It breeds jealousy, competition, and fear. But abundance mindset sees the world as full of possibilities. It believes there's enough success for everyone. It encourages collaboration, gratitude, and generosity. When you adopt an abundance mindset, you stop worrying about what you don't have and start focusing on what you can create. This shift changes everything because it opens your mind to solutions instead of problems. Gratitude is a powerful tool for mindset transformation. When you focus on what's good in your life, you rewire your brain to see more of the good. Gratitude combats negativity and trains your mind to appreciate progress rather than obsess over setbacks. It's simple but incredibly effective. Start each day by listing things you're grateful for, no matter how small. This practice helps you build a mindset that is optimistic, hopeful, and resilient. Self-talk, the conversations you have with yourself, also plays a crucial role. It's easy to be your harshest critic, but that only breaks you down. Instead, learn to be your own coach and cheerleader. Speak to yourself with kindness, encouragement, and faith. When you catch a negative thought, pause and challenge it. Ask yourself, is this true? Is there another way to see this? Over time, this rewiring will change the way you think automatically, making positive thoughts your default. Surrounding yourself with the right influences supports your mindset. The people you spend time with, the media you consume, and the environment you're in all impact your mental state. Choose to be around those who inspire you, challenge you, and believe in you. Avoid negativity and drama that drain your energy and cloud your thinking. Your mindset is like a garden. You have to tend it carefully and protect it from weeds. Lastly, remember that mindset mastery is a journey, not a destination. Some days will be easier than others. You will face setbacks, doubts, and moments when old limiting beliefs try to creep back in. That's normal. The difference is that now you recognize those moments as tests rather than traps. You keep practicing, keep pushing, keep evolving. Because when your mindset is strong, no external circumstance can shake you. You become the master of your own fate, the captain of your soul, and the architect of your destiny. Consistency is the bridge between dreams and reality, yet it remains one of the most overlooked secrets to success. Everyone talks about motivation, talent, and opportunity as the keys to achievement, but without consistency, none of those things matter. You can be motivated one day and lazy the next. You can have incredible talent, but never develop it. You can wait for the perfect opportunity and miss every chance. Consistency is what turns small actions into massive results over time. It's the daily commitment to your goals, the relentless pursuit of progress, and the refusal to give up, even when things get hard. People often misunderstand consistency as simply repeating the same thing over and over without change. But true consistency is about showing up with purpose, adapting when necessary, and pushing forward regardless of circumstances. It's not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about building habits that keep you moving forward, no matter how slow or imperfect the steps might be. Consistency means making a promise to yourself and keeping it. Even when motivation fades, even when you're tired or discouraged, you do the work because you know that every small effort counts. The power of consistency lies in its compound effect. Just like money grows exponentially with compound interest, your actions multiply over time to create results you never thought possible. One day of effort might seem insignificant, but repeated day after day, it builds momentum. Your skills improve, your confidence grows, and your results begin to show. This is why consistency beats talent and motivation every single time. Talent without effort is wasted potential. Motivation is fleeting and unreliable. But consistency creates a foundation that can carry you through the ups and downs of any journey. Another important aspect of consistency is the mindset shift it requires. You have to move beyond the need for instant gratification and embrace delayed rewards. The world around you is designed for quick fixes and immediate results. Social media, advertisements, and instant communication make patience feel like a lost art. But success, growth, and mastery don't work that way. They require time, effort, and a steady commitment. You might not see progress right away, but if you keep showing up, results will come. This understanding helps you stay patient and focused, even when the road feels long and difficult. Accountability plays a vital role in maintaining consistency. When you hold yourself accountable, you create a system that supports your goals. This could mean tracking your progress, setting deadlines, or sharing your goals with someone who will check in on you. Accountability transforms vague intentions into concrete actions. It prevents you from slipping into excuses and distractions, and when you know someone else is watching, it increases your motivation to keep going. Surrounding yourself with supportive people who encourage your consistency is equally important. You don't have to do it alone. Consistency also builds trust with yourself and with others. When you consistently deliver on your promises, even small ones, you prove to yourself that you're reliable and capable. This strengthens your self-esteem and self-discipline. People around you notice your reliability too. Whether it's at work, in relationships, or in your community, consistent effort builds credibility and opens doors. It shows that you are serious about your goals and can be counted on when it matters. One of the biggest obstacles to consistency is the fear of failure or imperfection. Many people avoid starting or continuing because they think they have to be perfect, but perfectionism is the enemy of progress. Waiting for the right time or the perfect conditions only leads to procrastination. Consistency means accepting that you will make mistakes and have bad days. It means forgiving yourself when you fall short and committing to get back on track. Progress is not linear. It's a winding path with ups and downs. The key is to keep moving even if the steps are small. To build consistency, it's helpful to create routines and rituals that make your work automatic. When your actions become habits, they require less mental energy and resistance. This frees up your willpower for the harder decisions. Start by setting clear goals and breaking them down into manageable tasks. Create a daily schedule that prioritizes these tasks and stick to it. Remove distractions and create an environment that supports your focus. Celebrate small wins along the way to reinforce positive behavior. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's often invisible to others because it happens behind the scenes. The hours spent practicing, the early mornings, the late nights, the quiet moments of doubt overcome. These are the moments that build champions. When you commit to consistency, you're investing in your future self. You're telling yourself that your dreams matter enough to show up every day, no matter what. And over time, that commitment will pay off in ways you can't yet imagine. Consistency transforms your identity. You stop thinking of yourself as someone who tries or hopes and start seeing yourself as someone who does. You become a person of action, discipline, and resilience. The habits you build through consistent effort shape your character and define your life. This is the power of consistency. It's not just about what you achieve, it's about who you become in the process. Your actions speak louder than your words. And in the journey towards success, what you do consistently is far more important than what you say or plan. Many people fall into the trap of over-talking their dreams, making endless promises to themselves and others, but failing to follow through with the necessary work. Words without action are empty. They create illusions, but never results. If you want to move forward in life, if you want to transform your dreams into reality, you must become a person of action, someone who backs up their intentions with consistent effort, discipline, and commitment. Taking action is what separates dreamers from achievers. Dreamers visualize the life they want, talk about what they will do one day, and get caught up in planning and wishing. Achievers, on the other hand, don't wait for the perfect moment or for all conditions to be ideal. They start where they are with what they have, and they take imperfect action. Action creates momentum. It turns ideas into experience, knowledge into skill, and effort into progress. Without action, your goals remain distant fantasies. One of the biggest challenges people face when it comes to action is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of making mistakes. These fears keep you stuck in hesitation and procrastination. But action is the antidote to fear. Every step you take, no matter how small, shrinks the power fear has over you. When you act, you prove to yourself that you're capable and that setbacks are not the end of the road, but part of the learning process. The more you act, the more confident you become, and the easier it is to keep moving forward. Taking action also requires breaking down big goals into manageable steps. When the task ahead feels overwhelming, it's easy to get stuck in inaction. But success is rarely about giant leaps. It's about consistent, small steps taken every day. Focus on what you can do right now, today, to move closer to your goal. That first step might be making a phone call, writing a page, or simply showing up. What matters is that you start. Once you begin, the momentum will build and each step will get easier. Action without planning can lead to chaos, but planning without action leads to stagnation. The balance is crucial. A plan sets your direction and priorities, but action is what drives progress. It's okay if your plan changes along the way. Flexibility is part of growth. The important thing is to keep moving. Don't wait until everything feels perfect or until you have all the answers. Start now, learn as you go, and adjust your course when needed. Discipline is what sustains action over the long haul. Motivation will come and go, but discipline keeps you consistent when feelings fade. Discipline is choosing to act even when you don't feel like it, even when distractions tempt you, and even when obstacles appear. It's the muscle that turns good intentions into real accomplishments. Building discipline takes practice, but every time you follow through on a commitment, you strengthen. Over time, action and discipline become habits that define your daily life. Another important aspect of taking action is learning to embrace failure as part of the process. Action is not about being perfect. It's about trying, failing, learning, and trying again. When you act, you will make mistakes. You will face rejection and setbacks, but these are not signs of defeat. They are signals that you are pushing beyond your comfort zone and growing. The people who achieve their dreams are not those who never failed, but those who never stopped taking action despite failure. Action also means taking responsibility for your life. No one else will do the work for you. You cannot wait for others to push you, fix your problems, or create opportunities. Your success is in your hands. This mindset of ownership empowers you to stop blaming circumstances or people and start focusing on what you can control, your actions. When you take full responsibility, you reclaim your power and open the door to real change. Being a person of action builds trust with yourself and others. When you consistently follow through, you prove that you are reliable and committed. This strengthens your self-confidence and earns respect. People want to work with and support those who deliver results, not those who just talk about what they will do. Your reputation as someone who acts is one of the most valuable assets you can build. Action creates clarity. When you stay stuck in planning or overthinking, your vision can become clouded by doubt and confusion. But when you act, you gain feedback and insight. You learn what works and what doesn't. You discover your strengths and areas for improvement. Each action reveals more about your path and helps you refine your goals. Action turns uncertainty into clarity. In the end, words are cheap, but action is priceless. If you want to change your life, you must become relentless in your pursuit of doing, not just dreaming. Start now, take the first step, and keep moving forward. The path will reveal itself as you walk it. Every successful person you admire, every story of triumph you hear shares one common thread: the relentless pursuit of growth. Growth is not a destination, but a continuous journey. It demands that you push beyond your comfort zone, challenge your limits, and never settle for who you are today. Without growth, you remain stagnant, stuck in the same patterns, unable to reach your true potential. Growth is the engine that fuels progress, innovation, and fulfillment. It is what separates those who live meaningful, impactful lives from those who merely exist. Growth begins with a mindset, a willingness to learn and evolve. It requires humility, the recognition that no matter how much you know, there is always more to discover. People who grow don't see themselves as fixed beings, but as works in progress. They actively seek knowledge, feedback, and new experiences. They understand that every challenge is an opportunity to improve and that setbacks are not failures, but lessons. This mindset keeps them curious, adaptable, and resilient. The path to growth is often uncomfortable. It asks you to confront your fears, doubts, and weaknesses. It demands sacrifice, discipline, and hard work. Growth means facing failure head on and using it as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. It means risking rejection and criticism in pursuit of something greater. This discomfort is not a sign to stop. It is a signal that you are on the right path. Growth happens when you stretch yourself beyond what feels safe and familiar. One of the most powerful ways to foster growth is by setting clear goals that push your boundaries. These goals should challenge you to develop new skills, expand your thinking, and elevate your performance. When your goals are too easy, you stay comfortable but don't improve. When they're too hard, you risk discouragement. The sweet spot lies in goals that stretch you just enough to ignite motivation without overwhelming you. These goals act as milestones on your growth journey, giving you direction and purpose. Learning is a critical component of growth. This means more than formal education. It means a commitment to lifelong learning. Read books, listen to podcasts, attend seminars, seek mentors, and learn from everyone around you. The world is full of teachers if you're willing to listen. Growth requires that you stay open to new ideas, even when they challenge your current beliefs. It demands curiosity and the courage to admit when you're wrong or don't know something. Reflection is another essential practice for growth. Taking time to review your experiences, decisions, and outcomes allows you to gain insight into what's working and what isn't. Reflection turns experience into wisdom. Without it, you risk repeating the same mistakes and missing valuable lessons. Make it a habit to regularly assess your progress, celebrate your wins, and identify areas for improvement. This self-awareness is a catalyst for meaningful growth. Surrounding yourself with the right people is also crucial. Growth is accelerated when you have mentors, peers, and supporters who challenge you, inspire you, and hold you accountable. Avoid those who discourage your ambitions or keep you stuck in limiting beliefs. Instead, seek out communities and relationships that encourage learning, collaboration, and positive challenge. The company you keep influences your mindset and behavior more than you realize. Adaptability plays a key role in growth. Life is unpredictable, and rigid thinking can block your progress. Being adaptable means you are willing to pivot, change strategies, and embrace new opportunities. It means learning to navigate uncertainty with grace and confidence. When you grow, you develop resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and keep moving forward stronger than before. Growth also requires patience. In a world obsessed with instant results, waiting for progress can feel frustrating, but true growth is gradual, often invisible day to day. It's the small, consistent efforts that accumulate over time into massive transformation. Patience means trusting the process and maintaining your commitment even when results seem slow or absent. This endurance is what separates those who succeed from those who give up too soon. Taking risks is inherent to growth. You cannot expand without stepping into the unknown. Risk involves uncertainty and the possibility of failure, but it also holds the potential for tremendous reward. The more you grow, the more comfortable you become with taking calculated risks. You learn to evaluate opportunities, weigh consequences, and act boldly. Growth transforms fear into fuel for action. Growth is deeply personal. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, not someone else. Your growth journey is unique, shaped by your values, passions, and dreams. Comparing yourself to others only distracts from your path. Focus on your progress, honor your individuality, and commit to continuous improvement. Growth is a lifelong commitment to becoming more than you were yesterday. When you dedicate yourself to growth, you unlock possibilities you never imagined. You gain confidence, competence, and clarity. You inspire others by example and create a ripple effect that elevates your community. Growth is not just about achieving external success. It's about cultivating inner strength, wisdom, and fulfillment. It is the foundation for a life well lived. You want to change your life? Then stop expecting others to do it for you. No one is obligated to support your vision. No one is required to understand your journey, and no one is coming to save you. That's not a tragedy, that's a blessing. Because now the path is clear. Do it yourself. Start messy, start scared. Start with nothing but belief, and build like your life depends on it, because it does. This is your moment, and you're all you've got. But guess what? That's enough.